New tonight, a local CEO hosting a 24-hour live event to help shift the perception about homelessness.
Plus, new at 6, a Wildcat welcome. Chico State unveiled a new addition to campus. We show you the Instagram-worthy fixture.
And new tonight, a campfire survivor frustrated over water hookup costs. We take his concerns to the Paradise Irrigation District.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
North State Public Radio is currently going through an operations and management transition after Cap Radio cut ties in June.
Action News Now reporter Sade Pullen shows us what this means for the community.
North State Public Radio, or NSPR for short, has been a staple local media outlet for decades. After 5 years of managing NSPR, Cap Radio announced it will be severing ties due to financial issues. So starting at the end of this year, Chico State Enterprises will take over the management and operations like it did before, prior to 2020.
Chico State Enterprises is an auxiliary of the university that manages different contracts and grants and various operations of the campus. Chico State is really excited to be bringing North State Public Radio back home to the university.
Geb tells me that all NSPR employees will have to reapply through Chico State Enterprises. Rehiring is not guaranteed. Geb says they expect to have a full staff by November. She also says programming will remain the same.
No, it's really important to know that programming is staying the same for right now. We didn't want to have any disruptions to what people enjoy listening to, the programming that they count on. And so really this is more of a technicality in many regards, but we know that it certainly has been a moment of anxiety for the staff there as they have been understanding this transition was going to be taking place. And
the NSPR Director of Contact, Sarah Bohannon, said in a statement, "This transition brings NSPR closer to our listeners and, if done right, gives us the support and freedom our team needs in this critical moment. My focus is on guiding our staff and expanding the station's impact through partnerships with community members, the university students and faculty, and other news organizations to deepen storytelling across the North State while helping grow the next generation of journalists." Reporting in Chico, I'm Sade Pullen with Action News Now.
The transition will take full effect at the end of this year. Also, starting November 30th, any donations to NSPR will be managed through Chico State Enterprises.
New tonight, Oroville police officers conducted a high-risk traffic stop, arresting one person for vehicle theft just before noon today. You might have noticed a heavy police presence near the Walgreens at Mitchell Avenue and Beach Street. Police say they found the stolen vehicle there with someone behind the wheel. We're working to learn the name of that suspect. Now, a live look from Alert California's Platte Mountain. Camera showing pretty cloudy skies over this part of Butte County. It's funny how things change so quickly.
It can change quickly, and the days are getting shorter. We mention that every day, but every day it gets a little shorter than yesterday. And Howie joins us now with a look at conditions.
Right, and we're also getting a little cloudier, as you just talked about, because storms are moving closer, and most of that activity taking place out to the west coastal range, northern mountains. You're seeing the storms, the clouds, a little moisture, a little bit of rain. You move away from that area further east, the valley and the Sierra, not really seeing much of anything on the dry side, but that could change, and we'll talk about that in the next 30 minutes. Here's our temperatures: below average and cooler than yesterday by more than 10 to even 15 degrees in some spots, just about everywhere you go, even the higher elevations on the cooler side. Weaverville at 57 degrees right now. We were breezy yesterday, but things are starting to calm down today. Winds on the lighter side, but we're getting that help with the moisture from the south. So looking really good for our relative humidity levels. Here's what we have for tomorrow. I know our winds go up, but look at our moisture levels, very solid. Temperatures go down, so we'll keep it on the low side for significant fire risk potential. But as you just said, the days are getting shorter. Well, we're going to cool down a little bit, and we're looking at our best rain and even mountain snow chances coming soon.
Thanks, Howie.
Well, the Berry Creek community celebrating a new milestone in bear fire recovery. Volunteer Station 61 is back in service after being destroyed in the fire 5 years ago. Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe was at the grand reopening and shows us its importance to this community.
Volunteer Station 61 is back in action after the original site was destroyed in the Bear Fire 5 years ago. And for community members and volunteers in Berry Creek, this is a second home.
And it's been my home for 35 plus years, and I'm glad to have it back, and I'm ready to get rolling again on fires and medicals and TCs and get back going to what we used to do.
And community members I spoke with tell me having another station up here is vital, especially when it comes to response times.
We were kind of, hung out alone, and we had to wait for, Oroville to come up, or Cal Fire if they were here and not busy. So now we actually have them back in our home territory. So that's going to be so important to a lot of people.
Captain Reed Rankin says the station currently has 5 volunteers with 2 more in training, and he's hoping to grow the station more as the community regrows. Reporting in Berry Creek, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
The station will house the new Engine 61, replacing the one destroyed in the fire, and Engine 661, which was used to fight in the Bear Fire.
We're learning more about the 3 crew members in Monday's tragic Reach Medical helicopter crash. Pilot Chad Millward, paramedic Margaret Dee Davis, and flight nurse Susie Smith remain in critical condition tonight at UC Davis Medical Center. And tonight, colleagues and the community are gathering to show their support. Action News Now reporter Jesse Angelo is live outside Shasta Regional Medical Center, where a vigil is going to be held. What can we expect for that, Jesse?
Well, Alan, Shasta Regional is hosting this vigil tonight, and members of the medical community and the public are all gathering here coming up. The news of that crash in Sacramento left a real emotional mark on people here in the medical community in Redding and throughout Northern California's medical community. And many are coming together tonight to honor the crew that has spent their careers helping others. Pilot Chad Millward, a retired CHP officer and pilot with 28 years of experience, is being called a hero for his actions in the final moments before the crash. He managed to avoid every vehicle on Highway 50 as the Reach 5 helicopter went down Monday night. Along with Millward, paramedic Margaret Dee Davis and flight nurse Susie Smith, all 3 critically injured. Mary Beaver, a close friend of Susie Smith for more than 30 years, says she was heartbroken when she heard the news.
We need to really say our prayers for them and hope that they can have a good recovery and, get back to what they love.
Beaver says she's grateful for the Good Samaritans who rushed to the scene, lifting wreckage to help free one of the crew members. She calls them and the crew they saved wonderful people. And tonight, Shasta Regional Medical Center is holding that candlelight vigil, a moment of prayer, hope, and community support for the Reach 5 crew who are still fighting for their lives. Live in Redding, Jesse Angelo, Action News Now.
Thanks, Jesse. The vigil begins at 7 outside Shasta Regional Medical Center. The public is invited to attend and show their support for the Reach 5 crew.
In an effort to shift public perception around homelessness, the Good News Rescue Mission in Redding is hosting a 24-hour event called Conversations on a Bench or a Couch. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield shows us how this works.
Good News Rescue Mission Director and CEO Jonathan Anderson will sit on a bench in front of the mission from Thursday at noon until Friday at noon. He's one of more than 100 ministry CEOs taking part in the 24-hour nationwide campaign by City Gate Network, a faith-based association of rescue missions.
It's okay to have conversations with people. Totally fine. Whether they're experiencing homelessness, whether they're housed, no matter what it is okay to have conversations.
The event is being live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, and the mission's website to raise funds for the mission and its programs.
We don't have to be polarized. We don't all have to agree, and it's okay to build relationship with people we might have disagreements with and show what just normal, healthy relationship looks like.
Anderson expects nearly 300 people to sleep at the mission tonight. He's hoping some will join him for conversations on the bench, no matter the topic or time of day.
We're bringing people together through great food and really fun, awesome conversations.
Reporting in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
If you'd like to stream the event, we do have a link on our website. Just go to the news tab links and then, or news link, and then It's the news tab and then news link. Sorry about that.
Redeemer Lutheran Church in Chico is celebrating 100 years of faith and community. The original church, built on West 16th Street in 1925, now serves as a private home. As the congregation grew, services moved to Moss Avenue, where the services continue today. And Pastor Brennan DeForest says the church's century-long history is a testament to faith and God's blessings through the generations. A nearly $6,400 utility bill from the Paradise Irrigation District has one campfire survivor feeling frustrated, to say the least.
Yeah, Action News Now reporter Bea Barbosa shows us how what was once a small fee grew to be thousands of dollars for some property owners.
$6,390. That was the total on Joel Wilder's most recent Paradise Irrigation District bill. Wilder lived in Paradise for more than a decade before he lost his home to the campfire. He and his wife moved out of state in 2020, but they still own the property in Paradise where their house once stood. Wilder says when they left, they planned on coming back, but they wanted to wait for the town to rebuild. And while Wilder still owns the property, he has not used the water utility there for years.
I just think that people should know what's going on up there. You know, PID, when we lived there, or right after we left, I think we paid that ready to serve rate, which was like, I think $25. We paid that for like 2.5 years for nothing. And then when we decided we're going to wait a little longer, we turned it off.
Wilder paid the ready-to-serve rate, which is $21.49, up until May of 2021, when he decided to turn off his water completely, thinking he could turn it back on once they moved back. But when someone put in an offer to buy Wilder's property, he discovered he would have to reconnect for service. He was sent a bill from PID 2 weeks ago for a new water meter and water hookup. So I reached out to PID, hoping to get answers for Wilder as to why this bill was so high. Officials told me once you choose to disconnect, you must pay a reconnect fee if you want to get water at your property, which was just $30 up until 2 years ago when PID put new meters in at properties that did want service after the campfire.
Now, what was once a $30 fix is $2,000 just to install these water meters, and an additional reconnecting capacity fee, which varies depending on the size of water meter needed.
In Wilder's case, that fee was $4,350. Wilder says this high bill is deterring him from wanting to move back to Paradise.
It is. You know, my wife wants to come back, and to be honest with you, stuff like there's three basic things that are kind of hindering us right now is the cost of homeowners insurance, the cost of utilities, PG&E, and the PID, you know.
In Paradise, Bea Barbosa, Action News Now.
According to PID officials, the high cost for reconnecting capacity fees because PID must pay the state to reserve the water so it's ready for use.
Walk, woof, and wag your way to Shelter Pet Health. How a fun community event this weekend aims to help animals with medical needs.
Plus, coming up, new at 6, Chico State may be the next destination for influencers. We'll show you why.